Welcome back to Life and Hair. Can you believe that 2021 is almost done and dusted? And this is the first year where I have been wearing hair every single week. I consider myself to be a proper hair wearer now. I mean, okay, I may not wear hair for work, but that's the only time that I don't wear hair. Every time I step out of the house, I've got something on. And I've bought quite a few styles this year. But let me ask you a question. If you had to pack a small case, let's say you were going away for a weekend and you had very limited space, what 4 styles would you pack? So this is the situation that I was in last weekend. And I found that I had some very definite favourites. 2 of which were toppers and 2 of which were wigs. The thing that really surprised me was that I didn't reach for any blondes or any other colour. I loved the hot cocoa 8RH14 and the dark chestnut by Gabor. Yeah, so any medium brown was absolutely the one that I reached for, and I was wondering why that might be the case. And I really don't want you to think that I'm very dull and boring, but I cannot deny that I am comfortable being a brunette. I'm used to being a brunette. I like some curl and movement in my hair, which is what I've always had, apart from the Top Smart straight, all the other 3 styles have got curl and wave. So we went away. It was a friend's birthday. It was her 60th birthday, and I went up to Shropshire to see her. And to travel, I opted for a topper because, let's face it, it was about 4-hour drive in the car. And I spend quite a lot of that time sort of leaning back and dozing. I also have a kind of a wrap that I use. This is such a versatile number. It's wide enough to be used as a proper wrap. It can be used as a blanket or as a scarf. It's fantastic. But I didn't want it rubbing on the back of the fibres of a wig. I wanted my own hair to be there at the back. I would say that the one style that I have worn the most in 2021 has been this beauty. Top Smart by Jon Renau. It has a lace front. It's got a very wide base actually. Very easy to put on and really easy to wear. It doesn't give you any problems. I really appreciate the wideness of this base. I'll put the inches on the screen. The review that I did for this topper has been my most viewed video. It's got over 10,000 views and everybody seems to sing its praises. I really think that they really got something very, very right in this style. With your synthetic fibres, you have a style that's always going to keep its shape. This isn't heat friendly in any way. You don't have to recreate the shape. And it's absolutely genius the way they've shaped this. You know, they've got they've got the swooping fringe. You can have, because of the monofilament top, you can have the parting any way. You can put it up or you can wear it down. And I love that. I love that about this style. I've worn it in a side swoop, I've worn it parted in the middle, I've worn it worn up, but actually my favourite is just worn down. And the environment has gotten into the fibres here. I actually remember reviewing this style in the summer of 2021, and I bought 2 of them because I was so in love with it that I couldn't stand the thought that possibly it might be discontinued or something and I won't be able to get another one. I have been on the lookout for a topper that's got a fringe, so without the lace front, but as yet I haven't quite found the thing for me. But when I travelled, this is the one that I opted for. When I go out to the shops and I, want to have the freedom to have that very, very natural look by tucking my hair behind my ear and not being worried that there's any wiggy business going on, this has been the one that I've reached for. And I absolutely love this colour. I've noticed, much to my slight sort of shame and embarrassment, that whenever I've gone out on a date or out in the evening to someone's house or to a restaurant or something like that, I have reached for the same topper over and over. And that topper is the Top Smart Wavy. It is kind of a little bit of a fairy tale princess hairstyle. I love the fact that I don't have to straighten my own hair underneath. I love the fact that it's got a lace front and has really such a good one. Full monofilament top as well. Loved it. We recently went out for our anniversary. It was our 21-year anniversary. And I found that I wore this one. When we were away also for this weekend, we met a friend in Manchester City and we went out to a Japanese restaurant and I really wanted to wear this one. A lot of you have given me feedback whenever I've said that, should a woman in her 50s be wearing such long hair? And I've had the most beautiful, gorgeous women messaging me back and saying, what on earth are you talking about? I'm in my 60s and I wear long hair very, very regularly. Now, isn't it amazing that both the previous topper and this topper are both 18-inch? And yet this topper looks so much longer than the last one. And I think the main reason is that there isn't that feathering and swooping of the fringe like there is with the straight. The wavy is long right from the front fibres. I love wearing this one behind my ear on one side and get some real Jerry Hall vibes by putting it over one shoulder. Yes, but if it does move, if I sort of put my head down or, the fibres kind of flop forward, that lace front, it's very good. I really loved this for our dinner out on the Saturday night. These wide bases are such a good option, even if you've got a lot of hair underneath. But if you don't have a lot of hair underneath, they really are very reassuring. There's not going to be any separation at the back. Lovely. Now, funnily enough, when I was packing, I actually thought that I'd give myself a bit of variety and that I would pack soft and subtle in honey pecan. Only to discover that I hadn't packed that at all. I thought I had, but I hadn't. It's a little bit like a Freudian slip, where you say what you meant to say. I kind of packed what I meant to pack, despite wanting a little bit more variety. Staying on the slightly longer theme, let's put my hair up at the back. I thought, oh, I'll put the Gabor Soft and Subtle on in that paler shade, only to discover that the actual one that I brought was Radiant Beauty by Gabor. Again, Radiant Beauty is what I'm used to. I feel so comfortable with the curls. I love the curls. They remind me of what my hair used to be like when I was younger. It's got a very, very good lace front, this one. It doesn't have a full monofilament top, but it does have a monofilament parting, and this parting actually sits on the left-hand side of your head. What I love about this style is that she's very good for an updo. It's amazing, isn't it, that I can just put something on that takes me 2 seconds to put it on and it's perfect hair. There we are. I've always viewed Radiant Beauty to be a very versatile style for me. I know it's quite popular because there are lots of reviews on it online. And this colour, dark chestnut, I feel suits my complexion very well. It's a very natural colour, so I don't feel self-conscious in any way. And I'm very comfortable with the curls. And I think when you're comfortable with something and confident with something, you lend your overall image a sense of being relaxed with yourself, so other people don't wonder what you're tense about or worried about. They follow your cue. If you're not thinking and worrying and fretting about your hair, then they're not going to be worrying and thinking and worrying and fretting about it either. This one is amazing for wearing it away from your face. Wow. I love it. I love it. I've noticed that with my favourite wigs, I'm able to swoop them away from the face somewhat. I think it gives for a more realistic look to them. And if I feel confident with that lace front, that's going to just lend to the overall happiness that I have with that piece. This wasn't tremendously expensive, but I'm so glad that I invested in it. I've worn this one an awful lot. I don't have any regrets. There are a couple of other pieces, for example, like Juno, for example. Juno by Paula Young, for example, that I reviewed and never put on again. I think I'm going to end up selling it because I don't feel the same level of familiarity and comfort and overall happiness with it. I really feel that that makes a huge difference as to what your wig looks like and how it presents to the outside world. If you're really happy with it, then the world is very happy with you. Now tell me, what favourites review could I possibly do on this earth that doesn't have Mila in it? Is a favourite because of the other things that I've mentioned with the other wigs, you know, like the wave, the colour, yep, the lace front, yep, all of those things are very good. But the thing that I really value about Mila is the length. It's not too long, and it's not a pixie. It's that lovely bob length that makes it so versatile. Full monofilament top. You can put your parting anywhere, and I've loved that. I have loved that. In fact, let's put it on the other side. Let's see what happens when we flip the parting on Mila and how it looks. It's still lovely and soft after having been washed. Adorable, adorable. Yeah, shoulder skimming, you know, reaches your collarbones when pulled down. The fibres on this have lasted for over 2 years, and I'm so happy with her, so happy with her. You know, Jon Renau does this in so many different colours. I assume rooted ones too. And you could very easily, you know, have her up like that at the front, and it still looks amazing. She's got a lot of volume, she's got a lot of fibres, very low on the permatease. You're not going to get any volume from permatease, you're just going to get volume from lots and lots of lovely glossy fibres that have withstood the test of time amazingly. Yeah, so when I was out sightseeing, before we actually headed back down home, I wore Mila because I wanted to put a jumper on. I didn't want the fibres to get all messed up. I wanted something that was manageable as far as length goes, but still had those elements that I loved, still had the curl and the wave and the brunette vibe. No root on the 8RH14. No root, but some very nice blonde highlights. So amazing that 3 pieces out of the 4 pieces are 8RH14 and the other one is dark chestnut. And actually when I hold them up like this, I can see that this hot cocoa is much cooler than this dark chestnut. Amazing, I've never noticed that before. Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. I had a really wonderful time away to finish off the year. It was so nice going away and having a complete different environment, seeing other parts of the country. You know, the British Isles are so beautiful and there's so much variety in the landscape. It was a really wonderful thing, and I really loved wearing my different hair on that trip. It's interesting to review this last year as a very regular wig wearer in a way that I haven't been before. I've come out to many more friends. I would say almost all of my friends know about my wig wearing. I've achieved that all in just this 1 year. My channel has been growing, but what I find most valuable is when people message me and say, I've really wanted to start wearing wigs, but I'm too afraid to start. I find that fuels my enthusiasm to encourage them to explore what it is that they're afraid of. What is the thing that's stopping them from going ahead and going out? You know, is it that they don't want a full wig? Would a topper be better? If so, what size base topper? Do you want a lace front on it or don't you? So many options that it's such a shame that someone might miss out on the peace of mind and the joy of wearing hair because they haven't sorted out just a few details that make all the difference. So there we have it, a very quick recap of my 4 most worn pieces in 2021. I'm looking forward to continuing to branch out in 2022. I'm going to incorporate and wear more rooted blondes. I'm really looking forward to the spring where I'll be able to really do that. And to continue having fun, wearing hair and living life. Merry Christmas, everybody. See you soon.